Elena Sherwood if we are meeting for the first time, and I am here for my weekly live relationship advice Q&A here on YouTube. So if you are catching this on a replay, give it a little like so I know you are here. And if you are catching this here today, if you are here, I'd love to know where I'm finding you. I am here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. It is a gray, gloomy kind of, we thought we were done with the weather, and then suddenly there's all kinds of snow coming down. And so anyway, here we are. I'm not here to talk about the weather, but anyway, here I am. So today I want to talk a little bit about, this is going to be a little bit different. I want to talk today about the video that I posted a few days ago, and it's sort of catching on more than I expected it to, which is pleasant, but there was almost over maybe something like 100 plus comments. And I wanted to kind of visit some of that. So the topic was, excuse me, wow, a little bit, pardon me. Whew. All right, a little scratchy here today. The topic is, where are you? Watch what he does. This is about the respect test. And I got a lot of flack for posting it because I understand that can be really difficult, but I want to cover the top parts that I think are important based on the comments that I've seen. Again, if you are here, let me know, say a little hi. You are welcome. If you catch this live, you are most welcome to post a question or a comment, and I will happily answer it if I can. And if not, I'll also tell you so. All right. So one of the comments that I see is, hi, is many people who saw the video. I'm going to post it in the description, by the way, so you'll know what I'm talking about. And it's the one about respect. This one test will help you understand whether you are respected or not. And so in the comments, it was clear to me that many of you who saw the video are saying, okay, all right, so he already knows he is disrespectful. Now what? I know he's disrespectful, whether he is or not to him. What am I going to do about this? And so this is the comment that I posed to you, and I'm going to read it out because I prepared a lot for today because I didn't want to mess up anything. Whew. At some point, the question is no longer, does he understand what he's doing? It becomes, does it matter enough for him to do something about it? And what I mean by that is, if you say to your husband, to your partner, please don't do that. That hurts me. And your partner might say something like, yeah, okay, I won't do it again. And then it happens again. So the question isn't, do you understand what's happening? Yes, that's the first part. The second part is, at some point you have to see for yourself and ask yourself, does it really matter to him, her, them, that they're hurting me? And if it doesn't matter that they're hurting you, that's a huge red flag. Now, what I love is somebody actually commented, and it's a beautiful, brilliant one, about, it starts something like, there's a difference. And what she said is her husband keeps forgetting things. He keeps forgetting to let her know when he's coming home, when he's even left the house. Like she'll kind of come in, oh, he's gone. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, so he just can't seem to remember this stuff. And it hurt her. And she's told him lots of times. So guess what he did? He downloaded an app. Something to do with something that'll remind him, something to do with his data. So as soon as it switches over, he now knows, oh, okay, text his wife real quick. And if he set things up so he can accommodate his the forgetfulness. That is brilliant. That is effort. And that's why I do a lot of this content, is to give you to show you the difference between someone who at least is trying and someone who is not, who might say they are but are not. Okay, it's been years and I'm still struggling accepting actions, still wanting to believe words, sentimental love instead of actionable love. My pain never mattered. So this should be some kind of a reminder to you. And I'm going to say this with love and respect. Many of us forget that we are, in fact, in charge of our own lives, and we were not put on this planet to be somebody else's side dish, a garnish in their life, a doormat, a door stopper, whatever you might. You're not somebody's appendage. You are a whole being completely on your own, and you are able to, whether you might feel that or not, and sometimes the feelings and emotion get so dang heavy that you don't believe you can. I've been there. I know that place. But what I'm saying is, please always remember that you can do things. It might feel overwhelming, but there are small steps. It doesn't mean pack your bags and get the heck out. It might mean stop lying to yourself about he will change because he never has. And stop lying to yourself that the words are going to mean something when they never did. And so at some point, this is where we have to look into our own hearts and start thinking, okay, how far am I going to let this go until I decide to take care of myself, to protect myself, to give myself a better life than this? Little soapbox there. I hope that helps, and thank you for the thumbs up. If you're coming in, feel free to pose a question or a comment, and I'll happily engage. I will. Thank you. All right. The other one that I want to, what do I do when I no longer trust my husband, do not trust my ability to know when he is lying, and do not want him to even touch me? Whoa. Okay. So you're reading my mind. Next week's video, it's not live yet, so you can't even find it yet, but it is on when you no longer want sex with your partner, with your husband. It's going to be two pieces. One is, when you don't want it, and the other one is when your husband doesn't want it. So let me focus on this one. You've been together for 21 years. I want to make sure that, what do I do when I no longer trust him? I want to focus first on, this is, sometimes I have to read the question over and over again so it could sink in and tap into the little neurons in my head that have the answers. What do I do when I no longer trust him? Well, you have to be honest with yourself and say, this is not the marriage it used to be. Perhaps it never was. That's the first one. Where's the rest? Do not trust my ability to know when he is lying, and do not want him to even touch me. Okay, the second part, do not trust my ability to know when he's lying. That is telling me that you are now literally in relationship survival mode, constantly scanning, constantly trying to figure out what's going on, and constantly like detectiving. That's not what marriage ought to be. You don't need to hear that from me, but I need to say it. And at some point we have to kind of step back and say, I am with someone who I don't trust him because he's lied enough. I don't want him to touch me. I don't even trust my own thoughts anymore. My question to you is, where are you? Where'd you go? The real you, the real one, who believes that healthy things are possible for you, who believes that you deserve a good, healthy life. Where is she? Okay, A few more here. We have been together for 29 years, married 21, and have 3 children together. Issues with communication, bracket defensiveness, and parenting differences have come to a head the past few years. Then, I'm just going to read all of these. Then, this past October, I found out he has been hiding his use of pornography throughout our relationship. Sorry, it keeps scrolling on me. This has been an issue for 29 years, but he promised it was over and agreed that hiding and lying about it was very damaging. Fast forward decades, and here we are again. Him promising it's over. Sorry, I do not believe him. How could I? It feels over. Okay. Maybe there's a part of you that already knows it's over, and it isn't so much how do I deal with him, it's more the acceptance that things are not what you had hoped it'd be. So now what are you going to do? Now, it's easy for me to say, but there are things that keep us stuck. Because sometimes when I met with, actually, I had somebody this week who was like this kid. What if he changes? What if I wake up one morning and he is this different person who now is respectful and completely doesn't do all of these things? What if he changes? The reality is, if he has not changed, even when he knows it hurts you and has already told you he will but did not, this might be your wake-up call. And you might have to ask yourself, what's it going to take for me to respect myself and love myself enough to do what I know is best for me? Now, some people will like, oh, this is too overwhelming. It's too big. I get it. It's big. So find the little steps to break it down. Start having real conversations with people who can help you. Start understanding, how do people do this? It's the money. Okay, figure out what's going on with the money situation. I actually had someone who said that, like, I don't know where any of the money is. Well, find out. Find out, like, get yourself educated. I came across a beautiful quote that said, information, something like the cure for anxiety is information, because sometimes we just don't know enough. So let's go find out. What if he takes everything? Find out. I'm not giving you a stay or go thing. I am trying to empower you to make some changes that you might need. Maybe you stay, maybe you go, but restore your own power. You need that. Okay, what do I say after 25 years that it's the end while preserving future with kids, etc.? He's a good person, but underfunctions, stonewalls, and is worse now that I speak up. What do I do, say, do not do? Whew, heavy question, and I'm so glad you asked it. The first thing I want to tell you is to remove the pressure, take the pressure off of yourself to do this perfectly. Because sometimes I will actually say this out loud, there are no perfect words. I will say that the best way is to speak from what is in your heart. Expect to get resistance. Expect to get, you're making too much of something. Why am I the bad guy again? Not because, like you said, he's a good person. You're married, but sometimes the relationship does more harm than good. And maybe you've tried some joint counseling, but I want to caution everybody about this because there is only so much that therapists can do. Couples therapist for 35 years. I know what I can and cannot do. And I have almost burnt myself out believing I can affect change if I try hard enough. And so this is my message to you. This isn't about you trying hard enough to make something happen, because some things are not for you to change. And so I wish for you to be completely honest and start considering what you really need and stop apologizing for what you need. This isn't even about how you interact with him. This is more about How am I treating myself? Like if you were in front of me in a session, I would ask the same thing that I asked somebody earlier. Where'd you go? Where are you? Where's the voice that can usually stand up for yourself? The one who can say, no, I will not. I don't agree that's not good for me. Because sometimes we do that. We can do that perfectly in other environments, but somehow we shrink ourselves as soon as we walk back into our own homes. And so I am all about finding the clarity. Where have I gone? What is going on in my heart? Let me just sit and put the pieces together. I know this sounds vague, but I wish there were perfect answers. And all of us need to get away from the perfection thing. Oh my goodness, if I aimed for perfection in every video I'm trying to put out, in every statement I try to make, I wouldn't be here. I'd still be spinning somewhere at my desk. I hope that helps. We have been having a lot of problems since my husband is drinking a lot of alcohol. Whew, okay. And let me just see if there is anything else with that one. I have set strong boundaries, but he is fighting back. What shall I do next? If somebody doesn't respect your boundaries, you should worry. You know, as I read some of the comments and as I read the comments in my videos, the theme that I'm finding is this positioning that people have where it's like, I don't know, I can't, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And maybe the best thing I could say is, please understand that there are answers and there are steps and there is a way from you to get from point A to point B, whatever your point B is. But the journey to that is different. Some people do eventually have some health issues and they stop drinking. Some people get worse with their drinking and will never change. Some people when we talk about addictive behavior, I don't know what state they're in, and I'm not an addictions counselor or expert, so I won't even touch that zone. But what I'm saying is, when you stop believing BS and start getting real with yourself, that, I believe, is the starting point. All right. He has been moody, irritable, belittles me, and calls me names. I do not believe him since I know I am a good person. Perfect. You are a good person. And anybody who gives you all that kind of negativity, that just because somebody says it, it doesn't make it right. Now, I do worry. My heart aches for people who live in environments where they are receiving all kinds of crap from the person who they have chosen to be with. And so please, please, please remember that you have choices, you have power, there are steps. And maybe you don't feel like you can find those, but I'm here to tell you, you can. Hey, yo, catching a live on the way home from the first grocery run, all storm. Oh, you be careful. Hi, but be careful, drive safe. And I hope you're not driving and as long as I'm in the background. Love the advice to speak from the heart. I mean, the truth is, what else are we going to do? And once we start speaking falsehoods, and, I don't like being given untruths. I only like receiving truths, even if it's ugly, and I believe that the rest of humanity is the same way. Okay, so happy to catch you live. Glad you're here. Thank you. I have set strong boundaries, but he is fighting back. What should I do next? There you go. I say find your voice. And maybe that voice isn't, I want to stand up to him. Maybe that voice is, I want to find myself. I want to figure out what I'm all about. I want to figure out what's hurting me the most. I want to figure out why am I doing things? Where am I? How do I even feel about anything? So yeah, helps. Good. Thank you. Hi. Hey, hey, hey. Praying for everybody. Stalling going home from an argument this morning with him. I acted like a total jerk in response to him undermining me with the kids. Oh, but we're human and none of us do perfect things. I will not talk about how I may have myself. Thankfully, we lived in like a very quiet neighborhood where I decided to dramatically squeal my tires because I just had enough. And so, we do things. And so we got to own the things we do and we got to do what we can to do better. And yes, from that couple of times I've done it, I've componed and I've said, okay, we need to talk because this can't go the way it's been going. So again, accountability, responsibility, and yes, I did have to apologize for being a little dramatic. Thank you. My family of origin kicked my mom out 3 times for her alcoholism, and that was the charm. Okay, 3rd time was the charm. She finally got it. I'm guessing, over 31 years sober now. There is hope, but it comes at the end of your rope. Very powerful message there. Yeah, sometimes external things like family kicking you out, maybe that'll do it. But let's face it, it's always up to the person to say, I have had enough of hurting the people I love. Or I am now like she said, at the end of the rope, and this is not going to end well if I continue. So there is a lot that others can do, but ultimately the change must happen from within. No, I'm still parked, just loaded the car, gonna listen quietly while driving, not text or respond. I put the phone in a compartment while driving, so glad folks are getting the support, including me. Oh, y'all are lovely. All right, here we go. Bringing him some favorite groceries to make it up for him. There you go, and maybe that's apology enough, right? Okay, I am going to leave a 44-year marriage. The financial end is really scary. I'm 65 and I don't know where to move. I have no family and I want to leave this state. A lot of big decisions. May I just congratulate you on allowing yourself to go down the path of something that must be terrifying. Wow. Kudos to you, because many people continue to tell me about how unhappy they are, but never quite get to that place. And not that there's anything wrong with them, but never quite get to that place where they choose to do something about it. Again, no judgment. So you are at this point, and my suggestion, I don't know if you're asking for advice or not, but I really want to just say, celebrate the small wins. Don't make the plan absolutely perfect. Just do what you can day by day, small steps, and follow your gut and remember why you are doing all of this. When my son was little and he would have something big he had to do that day, and I would say, tell me, are you 100% nervous and maybe 0 excited, or are you maybe 50 anxious and 50 excited? And it at least reminded him that there is some excitement here to be had, and wouldn't it be better for him if he chose to see that end of it? I know, maybe not the right kind of analogy, but I love that you are doing this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Here's my other suggestion is, you might not feel like you have friends, so maybe it's time to get busy, maybe making some. Maybe it's going to your local community center, hanging out at your local library or whatever. I mean, you would know what kind of community you have. And for a while I was running Facebook groups, and these were a lifeline for many people that were in it, including myself. And so if it's not readily available, see if you can find some resources, even online, that will be helpful. But again, keep in mind that you are, it could be a little bit volatile depending on what kind of support you get, but at least you can try, and you can easily say, yeah, not for me. But anyway, I'm excited for you. 65 is young, and so you got plenty. I remember in high school, my best friend said, I don't believe it. My grandparents are 82 and they're getting a divorce. And she said, imagine living that long. And they'd been married for something like, 40 years or longer than that, I guess. And imagine living that long and being that miserable and finally deciding. And I'm like, hey, good for them. Good for them for deciding that this is not how I want the rest of my life to be. All right, I've ran all of the comments. If I've missed a comment or a question of yours, feel free to ask it again. I welcome being held accountable for the things God bless you. To Ross, glad we have this group so we know we aren't alone. You are not. You are not alone. And I love that people support each other. Thank you for your answers. I will save this video and watch it when I need a reminder. I am 100% a wonderful person on my own. Work towards a life of thriving versus surviving. Yes, there we go. There. I think it's not just you. Many of us need reminders of what we deserve in life. Many of us have our own little kind of scripts in our head that maybe aren't very good for our own self-esteem. Maybe we do it to ourselves because we've heard enough crap and kind of let it linger. And so it is absolutely necessary sometimes to put ourselves out there in places where people can remind you that, yeah, you are worthy of a thriving life. I only discovered this channel this week. Best wishes from UK. Oh, welcome UK. I can't even imagine what time it is there. Maybe 8 hours. Anyway, it is 12:27 p.m. here. I'm excited to have a community. This is why I come live. I keep it regular, Thursdays, Eastern Standard, noon. And, because I really want to be accessible to people. And so 4:27 p.m. Okay, so 5 hours. Okay, thank you so much. Tea time. Oh, cute. Tea. I took me a while to figure out that tea could be like an actual meal or really tea. What is the reason that men want to have power over their wives? I'm going to go broader on that one as well. What is the reason that we sometimes want power over our partners? Some people don't know that's what they do, and they feel that the more they control, the less likely they are to be hurt. Some, it's just out of habit. They have been controlled, and so now they are using this. This is an extension of the behavior that was put upon them, that they now decide, it was done to me, I'm going to do it to somebody else. I think we can make ourselves crazy trying to understand the root of that power. What we should focus on is the presence of domineeringness. Is that even a word? Dominance, control, manipulation to get their way is unhealthy, toxic, does not belong in an intimate relationship. Some people they'll joke around a little bit, but that's all it is. It's like, oh my goodness, I gotta I gotta train my woman to whatever, and I gotta train my husband to whatever. I mean, yeah, we say that, but we don't mean it. But if you actually have someone who purposely is molding you into something that'll make their life better, red flag. Some people don't know better, so call them on it. But please don't put up with it. And if you have to put up with it long enough until you have a safety plan, then it's just you doing time. All right. Thank you for explaining heavy things so clearly. Going to leave him in 2 weeks. Wow. I bet you've gone through a lot. I'm really honestly, this is one of the reasons I do live is there's a lot I can't just put into a video and then, because with every little sentence I put down, there's a lot kind of behind it. And so the most important thing to remember is you do not deserve dysfunction. You don't. This is why I go through great lengths to explain. Now, I've had women in front of me saying, yeah, but he does this and this and this. And I said, okay, have you told him to stop? He should know better. He shouldn't have to do that. But have you told him, no, and is, well, he kind of did. Oh, tell me what? Well, he sort of makes an effort sometimes. And okay, well, let's pay attention to everything we see, not just the things that make somebody look bad and makes us look like a hero, or not just something that villainizes somebody. Let's look at things clearly, because there are a lot of moving pieces. And it's very easy, especially with a lot of the popular topics and words and buzzwords floating around. It's very easy to grab one of the air and out of the air and say, "You are this." Maybe, maybe not. How does that move you forward? Okay. Hey, Grandma, where are you from? I wish I was a grandma. I'm old enough to be a grandma, but my boys have different ideas on that. They're adults who are still doing the thing. I am in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Some people kind of, where you from? I do not mind when people ask, okay, I was born in the Philippines. That's my country of origin. I've been in Canada 40 years. Any other questions? Oh, I didn't cover. Let me see if there's something I absolutely must cover today. I have a habit of trying to do too much. What does real effort actually look like? Not words. Not promises. Deeds. Actions. The absence of certain things. The beginning of the absence of certain things. I told them to stop putting me down. Actually, he hasn't put me down much lately. At all, even. Actually, he looks a little scared of me when I walk into the room. Okay. That's something. It doesn't need to be like flawless and perfect. There has to be, it's something that is measurable, that if someone were taking a video long term, you could see it. That's what real change looks like. And it is sustained. It's not just, it's only when things are convenient. It's also like, even when things are stressful, there is a serious attempt to keep sticking to what they promised that they would never do. So yeah, I have a video on that one as well. Okay, and I'm going to read the top one-liners. Grandma, any other language you speak other than English? Not really. Canadian French, very, very little. It's embarrassing. No. I used to speak Tagalog. I can understand it, but I can't really read it much, and I certainly can't speak it. All right. There are some highlights that I want to just kind of put zingers on because I think they're really important. So let me just Thank you, by the way, for all of you who are here. Let me know where I'm finding you. I just love it when people are here. Okay, I can't find my notes because I went everywhere and nowhere. And okay, well, oh. Nope. Where are the highlights? All right, Cincinnati, Ohio, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Cincinnati, is that sort of the middle? What time zone are you in? I'm in Eastern Toronto time. The Netherlands, whoa, this is so cool. South Carolina, welcome. Grandma, you don't ask me where I'm from. Okay, where are you from? I began with that, asking people where they are from. All right. What a treat to meet with. At some point, I will have some kind of a program. I haven't done it yet. Oh my goodness, there's so many things I wish I had the time and the mental space to create, but welcome from India. One of the things that I wish I had the capacity to create is some kind of community off platforms where, we could sort of have a little bit more informal chat, but I am not there. Honestly, content creation is a lot of work. For all of you who do that. And I am also still a relationship coach. I am now retired from my couples therapy, but I still do coaching and I still see couples online, more focused on coaching. Some men, lots of women. And so that takes up my entire schedule. And I'm also not 20, so I do not have the energy and drive that I used to. And maybe that's a very good thing. Okay. I will now close off with a very, 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 very big thank you to you for joining me and sharing some important sacred space and your vulnerable questions, and for giving me your time and listening. And if you are one of my subscribers, thank you. If you are not, thank you for being here anyway. Not a bad idea to subscribe, by the way. And anyway, thank you again, and I will see you again next week. If you have watched this and you have some questions, feel free to post them below. I do visit everything as often as I can, and I do my best to answer them when I can. Thank you again from my heart, and I will see you next week.